Welcome to the Hardcat Core 99 series. In this episode, we're going to show you how to create a new user where the user account is associated to a workgroup which can only view vehicles. To do this, we're going to break the video down into two sections. First of all, how to create a new workgroup, and secondly, how to apply that workgroup to a login, so therefore that is applied to the user. The first section is how to create a workgroup. To create a new workgroup, we first of all have to go to File, Administration, Workgroups. The list of workgroups gives you a list of the currently created workgroups. As none of these workgroups currently fit my criteria, we'll need to create a new one. To create a new one, we press the New button. From here, we now need to apply the restrictions that we're going to apply for this workgroup. As we only want to apply to vehicles, vehicles is an asset type. So in this case, we have to do two things. First of all, we have to tick Enabled to say we're going to restrict based on asset types. Then secondly, we need to add the asset types in to the workgroup. Vehicles in Hardcat is a folder structure within the asset types area. So we have two options. We can either add the folder directly, which will add all the asset types within that folder to the items menu, or we could individually add in the asset types themselves. But for efficiency, we'll add the folder in directly. Motor vehicles. Okay. And as you can see by selecting that folder, it has added the four asset types: company vehicles, motorbikes, sport vehicles, and utility vehicles to this control. We'll now press Close to accept that change. If this was the only restriction that we needed, then we can press OK to save our workgroup. Our second update we need to do now is to create a new user and associate that user to our new vehicles workgroup. To create a new user, we go to File, Administration, Security. To create a new user, we can do it in one of two methods, either by clicking the New button, or we can copy an existing account. Today, we'll copy an existing account. When creating a login in Hardcat, we are first of all presented with the code field. This is the code that you'll use to log into Hardcat. Because it's the vehicles account, I'll call it vehicles. Now that we're on the details of user screen, we now need to change the workgroup from Melbourne to our vehicles workgroup. To do that, we simply click on the workgroup button, select vehicles, then go OK. I can press OK now. We've now saved the vehicles user account. The next step that we have to do to ensure that our restrictions are enabled is to double check the Hardcat global options and ensure Hardcat domain control has been applied. To do that, we'll press OK to exit out of our user section. We'll go to File, Administration, Options. Within here, we have an option called Enable Domain Control. For the restrictions to apply, we have to make sure that is ticked on and press OK. Now we'll log into Hardcat using the new vehicles account and we'll see what assets are associated. To view what assets our login is allowed to see, we can go to our asset lists, lists assets, or alternatively, we can click the assets icon. And as we can see here, we only can see seven assets. If I clear my criteria and apply, we are still only presented with 7 assets as our criteria has restricted us purely to the vehicle type assets. Another way to double check this is by trying to create a new asset by clicking New, clicking our asset type button and seeing which asset types we're allowed to select. And as we can see here, we're only allowed to select from within the motor vehicles folder.